They always say monsters don't knock, but that night, someone did. 3 times. Soft. Slow. Like they already knew who was inside. The story begins on a cold October night in the small town of Maple Hollow, Pennsylvania, a place that looked safe enough to be on a postcard but quiet enough to bury a secret. The narrator's tone is low, calm, almost detached, the kind of voice that sounds like it's remembering something they wish they could forget. Inside a dimly lit suburban home, Lena, a 27-year-old nurse, sits alone after her late shift. The wind is pushing against the windows, and the television flickers in the corner, static breaking between weather reports and missing person alerts. The alerts have been the same all week. Another resident reported missing. Police urge everyone to stay indoors after dark. Lena pulls the blanket tighter. She's exhausted, but something about the silence feels wrong. The kind of wrong that presses against the walls, waiting to be noticed. Then comes it, 3 knocks. Not from the door. From the window beside the couch. Her heart stops. She lives on the 2nd floor. She slowly turns toward the sound. The window is half covered by curtains, but she can see movement, a shadow, tall and still, standing just beyond the glass. She doesn't move, doesn't breathe. The only sound is the faint hum of the TV. Then, another knock. Slower, heavier, as if whatever's outside has all the time in the world. Lena grabs her phone, tries to dial 911, but the screen freezes, then dies completely. The lights flicker. The TV turns off. And in the darkness, she hears a whisper from outside the glass. A voice that sounds exactly like hers. "Let me in." Lena freezes, phone trembling in her hand, the screen dead black. Outside, the wind shifts. That voice, the one that sounded like her, whispers again. "Please, Lena. Let me in. It's cold." Her name. It said her name. She takes a step back, knees shaking, eyes fixed on the window. The voice doesn't come from behind the glass anymore. It's closer now, almost inside the room, yet nothing moves. The air grows heavy, thick, like it's being pulled from her lungs. Her mind races. It's just a trick. Maybe someone's phone outside. Maybe a reflection. But when she dares to peek through the curtain, what she sees doesn't belong to any sane explanation. A face, or what's left of one, pressed against the glass. No eyes. No mouth. Just smooth, pale skin stretching where human features should be. It tilts its head, almost curious. Then it smiles. But there's no mouth to smile with. The skin just ripples, pulling tight like something underneath is trying to crawl out. Lena stumbles backward, heart slamming against her ribs. The lights flicker again, once, twice. Then they die. Now it's silent. Completely. Even the sound of the wind is gone. She reaches for the flashlight on the counter, turns it on, and the beam hits the window. Empty. The figure is gone. But something's wrong. The window is open. Her breath quickens. She backs away slowly, keeping the light steady. The beam trembles across the walls, across the couch, the TV, the empty hallway. Then she sees it, a wet footprint on the wooden floor. Bare. Human. Leading from the window, toward the hallway. The narrator's voice drops lower, almost like a whisper. When the police later found the footage from her building's hallway camera, they saw her standing there, pointing her flashlight into the dark, whispering to someone who wasn't on the tape. The flashlight beam flickers again, weak and dying. And in the silence between blinks of light, she hears breathing. Slow. Measured. Right behind her. She doesn't turn. She can't. The air smells like metal. Like something rotting just out of sight. "Lena?" The voice behind her now sounds exactly like hers. She drops the flashlight. Darkness. 1 second of pure stillness. Then, the unmistakable creak of the floorboards as something steps closer. By morning, Lena is gone. The neighbors call the police after hearing screams echoing through the night. But by the time they arrive, the apartment is locked from the inside. The cops find the flashlight on the floor, still flickering. The curtains ripped. The phone, melted, screen warped like it overheated. And near the window, a handprint. Not from Lena. It's too large, and the fingers are too long, bending in a way no joint should. The narrator pauses, tone colder now. There was one more thing the officers didn't tell the news. On the window pane, between streaks of condensation, they saw words traced with a finger, shaky, childlike letters that read, "Let me back in." The investigation hits a dead end. No forced entry. No sign of struggle. Just a woman who vanished from a sealed apartment. Until, 3 nights later, someone else hears it. Next door, Tom, a 41-year-old electrician, wakes at 3:17 a.m. to the sound of knocking. 3 soft knocks. Same rhythm. Same pause between each one. He groans, gets up, and checks the hallway. No one there. Then it comes again, this time, from his living room window. Tom walks over, half asleep, muttering about kids messing around. He pulls the curtain aside, and freezes. It's Lena. Or at least it looks like her. Same hair. Same hoodie. Same pale, frightened face. But her expression is wrong. The mouth stretched too wide. The eyes too blank, like someone copied her shape, but didn't understand how to use it. She lifts a hand, presses it to the glass, and whispers, "You left the window open." Tom stumbles backward, trips over a chair. The lights flicker, then explode, every bulb shattering at once. When the power comes back, she's gone. But his window, once locked, now hangs open. And in the corner of his living room, his security camera light blinks red. The next morning, Tom checks the footage. He scrolls through hours of static, until 3:17 a.m. There's the sound of knocking. He sees himself walk to the window. He sees himself fall. But the glass, the place where Lena's face should be, is empty. Nothing there. Just him, talking to someone invisible. He rewinds. Watches again. Then he notices something else, a figure standing behind him the entire time. Motionless, featureless, tall enough to brush the ceiling. And just before the feed cuts, the thing raises a hand, places it on his shoulder. Tom never finishes watching the clip. That night, the neighbors hear screaming again. Then silence. The police return to the building after Tom's disappearance. They find his front door still locked. No signs of forced entry. The only sound in the apartment is the faint hum of the fridge, buzzing like static in a dead channel. Inside, the furniture is perfectly untouched, except for one thing. The window wide open, curtains fluttering in the cold morning wind. On the wall beside it, written in what looks like condensation, are the words, "Don't lock me out." Detective Harris, the one assigned to Lena's case, stands there, pale, tired, staring at that message for too long. He mutters to himself, "That wasn't there yesterday." The junior officer next to him swears he hears whispering when the wind passes through the window. A soft, rhythmic voice repeating the same words. Someone outside, someone outside. The officers pack up, disturbed but with no leads. But Harris, he doesn't leave. He lingers by the glass, staring into the empty parking lot below. And then, for a fraction of a second, he sees someone standing across the street. Still, facing up toward the building. Just a silhouette, tall, faceless, perfectly motionless. By the time he blinks, it's gone. He convinces himself it's exhaustion. But as he turns to lock up, the window closes on its own. Later that night, Harris sits in his car, chain smoking and scrolling through his notes. The missing person files now number 7, all from the same building. He notices something. Every case started the same week, right after the electrical maintenance that Tom did. He zooms in on a photo from the maintenance report, a blurry frame of a shadow behind Tom near the fuse box. The same faceless silhouette. Harris drives back to the building, flashlight in hand. Inside, the hallways are dark. The power's out again. He follows the sound, a faint knocking echoing down the corridor.